I want everyone to think about a park in your neighborhood that you visit most frequently on a daily basis or weekly basis. Or if you don't go to park, just a park near your home. How does the park look like? What facilities or activities do you see in that park? How does the park you just pictured in your mind look like this one? This is Lundstrom Park here in Logan, Utah. I would say a typical American named park looks very similar to this one, having huge turf grass lawn, some tall trees, winding path, altogether providing pastoral and peaceful landscape. The thing is, whether you are aware of it or not, your perception of urban parks is likely framed by 18th century English landscape painting, which is a prototype of picturesque aesthetics. In the picturesque, gardening or creating a park should be an imitation of beautiful nature, so that any human work should be concealed. The visitor should be only able to see the beautiful nature, not the works by a landscape architect. But here's the problem. How do we define beautiful nature when there are so many different versions of it, depending on where you are and where you live? Why do parks look so ubiquitous and identical across the country when the local nature is so distinctive from one another? Why do we import a certain version of beautiful nature when we build our own parks in our own city? And what's wrong with that? The problems with the imported beautiful nature in a park are multiple. For one, it is expensive. To create a peaceful haven for New Yorkers, the Central Park had cost over $14 million in mid-19th century, which was a significant increase from the original $5 million budget. It was mainly due to transform the rocky and swampy ground into smooth topography and ultimately pastoral landscape that we can see today. A recent national survey of park agencies showed that a typical named park cost $200,000 per acre to be built, excluding land price. And a major portion of the construction cost goes to grading and greening, again, to mimic the imported beautiful nature. Building a park is not the end of the story. To keep it green and give water to turf grass and non-native plants, our parks require a huge amount of water, on average $20,000 per acre every year for overall maintenance of a park. And we all know that it's not just our park, it's our suburban single-family neighborhood requiring excessive amount of water to keep its beautiful nature aesthetics. With the current pace of water usage and population growth in Utah, it's forecasted that the water demand will exceed the water supply within 20 years from now. Another problem with the imported beautiful nature in a park is that it only accommodates certain types of activities. Most park agencies don't allow for graffiti, protests, nightlife, or even regular commercial activities within their parks. Since the inception of urban parks in 19th century, they had only open to certain passive uses like walking, jogging, or picnicking. That's all. It's not open to all. Last but not least, our named parks are empty. In spite of their health, economic, environmental, social benefits that a park can provide, we are not fully enjoying them. Recently, researchers surveyed about 200 named parks across multiple US cities and found that most of them are underused. On average, there were 2 persons per acre, like this image, where cities spend $200,000 to build and another $20,000 every year to maintain. So the rest of the green space is empty, where sprinklers are running every day. As a behavior researcher, I also conducted observational studies of 30 neighborhood parks in Salt Lake area in Utah using a drone. The finding, 2.5 persons per acre, aligns with the national average. You remember 2 persons per acre? You know, Utah is quite a typical place representing this country. And of course, there are not many things we can say so. There are fewer female and even fewer seniors. This is an example of an empty park. Out of 180 observations that I made, parks were empty 26%. No single person at the time I visited there. So, what do empty parks have in common? What's the problem? Is it park itself or the surrounding community environment? And the answer is both, as you could guess. Parks were empty when they had only limited types of facilities. And second, when they were poorly maintained. So simply, it's not a fun and safe place to go. And not only its design and maintenance, parks were also empty when they were located in a single-family residential neighborhood. And second, when they were only accessible by car, not by walk, by bike, or public transit like buses. Jane Jacobs, one of the most influential urban theorists, said that too much is expected of city parks. So we should not simply assume that putting a new grassland can complete our neighborhood. If you build it, they may not come, even including yourself. So knowing that problems, you may wonder what popular parks, what successful parks have in common. What should we do? And before answering that question, let me share some numbers. Is 2 persons per acre typical in any parks in any countries? No, sadly, that's not the case. You may know that if you have traveled abroad or if you're watching this talk outside of the United States, like my family members who may be watching this live broadcast in Korea. The user density of neighborhood parks in other countries ranges from triple to over 10-folds of that in the United States, even including Brazil and Canada, whose nationwide population density is lower than this country. In essence, I found that successful neighborhood parks have 3 characteristics: salience, intricacy, and accessibility. Salience means that there are some memorable, unique, and distinctive features in a park. Have you heard of the word Instagrammable or Instagram-worthy? So salient park is Instagram-worthy, like attractive enough for photographing and posting on a social media. Salience can be also achieved by embracing the natural landscape around the park. Again, to make the place memorable, unique, not identical or ubiquitous. Another feature of successful neighborhood park is intricacy, or you can call it complexity, accommodating multiple types of activities and providing rich user experiences, not just passive ones. An example of a neighborhood park in Greece providing rich user experiences through workout equipment. And outside of the park, parks with visitors throughout the day and throughout the week have different types of uses around the park, not just residential. There are grocery stores, schools, libraries, apartments, all together providing the intricacy in the built environment. And they are easily accessible on foot. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed many things in our cities, mostly in negative ways. But it has renewed our interest in parks, trails, and walkable outdoor environment, because we need a place to relax, exercise, socialize, while maintaining some physical distance with others. So more than ever, we need a different approach. Do we really need identical parks, identical neighborhood everywhere that is expensive, unsustainable, inaccessible, and above all, empty most of the time? Instead, for example, you can attend a public meeting and speak up that we need different parks, different neighborhoods that is salient, intricate, and accessible. Also, you can begin with a small change with your own park. I'm talking about your front yard, backyard, or balcony, by using native plants and using some water-saving strategies. The beautiful nature might be something that already exists in and around your town, not necessarily the one from the English countryside painting. Then we'll have a place that is used and loved. Again, I want you to reimagine a park in your neighborhood. Thank you.